Hello, do you want to build Blazor button group component from scratch without Bootstrap, JavaScript, or some other third-party library? So in this video, I'll show you how to. So we'll build a good-looking commercial-grade button group component from scratch with only pure CSS and the needed one coding. So no clutter, nothing. Very simple logic. We will apply that to create button group component. In my last video, I showed how we can create tabs component from scratch. So we will utilize the same knowledge, same experience, same code to create button group. Just change it in such a way that we end up with having a commercial grade button group component where each button can be exclusively selected. So let's start. So the idea is that one will copy this full tabs component to a new one and name it the button group. So it has 3 files. So I'll create a new folder into the components. Like I can call it maybe action, and then create a new component, and we will name it button group. Okay, and then 2 more files, one CSS file and CS file. Okay, so button group dot razor dot CS, and then the style sheet as well. Okay, yeah, so it should be button group dot razor dot css. Okay, so we have 3 files. We will copy the code from the tabs component to the newly created button group files corresponding one to one. So first we'll copy the css file. So just control A, control C, and then to the CSS for button group. But here we see that we are using tab. So, but this is not tab. Usually if I don't change anything, it should still work, but we don't want it to be. So we will change this. So instead of tabs, we will use buttons. Okay, and current document, and then replace. Okay, yeah, good. And then now we'll come to the HTML, copy, and then over here. So definitely I need to change a few things. So it's a tabs. I'll call it button. Okay, all button. So what is this CSS? It's button. So okay, so buttons, and then these items because we don't have yet the corresponding CS file. So we'll do that. Control A, Control C, and then over here Control A, Control V. So this one is my buttons group. So buttons, a button group. Okay, and then the selected button and selected button over here as well, and then I will call this select button. Okay, button, you can use global find replace as well, but just for the sake of demo. So selected button. Okay, perfect. So we have that now. And then definitely instead of tab, we need to create one more class which will hold the button definition. So let me call this button. It's not yet created. So let's go to the models, and then we'll copy also over here. Same thing. And then over here, a new class let's call this button, and then it will have all the properties like we have in tab, because it should have a key, it should have an icon, it should have a text. So good. So this seems fine. And then we need to call this also once we click on any of the buttons. So instead of selected tab, it should be selected button. Sorry, it should be capitalized actually. Selected button, and then it should be select button instead of selecting tab. So all that kind of thing. So we need to make them items. So over here, it should not be navigation because we copied from that namespace. It should be action. So let us go back and check over there. Yeah, seems fine then, because this is item, so it expects the button, but button is tab, so we need to change that, the definition over here. So button, okay, good. So it seems fine, all good, because we have the razor file with the button definitions and all that stuff, and then we have CS file, which is a button group, and then which works with the button class, and then all that changed because it's the same as the tab component but a different names. And then we also have CS file also. So if we execute this one and then want to see how does it look, for that let's create a new menu item so that we can link it with that one. So let's go over here, copy it, and then over here let's call this button group, and over here also button group demo. So we need to create that page also, the demo page. So we'll go over here like we have for the tabs demo, copy that same, and then over here button group demo, button group demo seems fine. Yeah, okay. So copy paste over there everything, and over here button group demo, and then instead of tabs we have buttons. Okay, we need to define it yet, no problem. So buttons selected button, yep, and then over here as well. So and this also let's do find replace. Okay, yeah, 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 selected button, yeah, and then instead of tabs it should be button group in the action. Okay, so instead of navigation we'll have action, yeah, and then instead of tabs demo button group demo. Okay, yep, seems fine. So over here we have a button group demo, and the same we have routing over here, button group demo. So let's continue and then see how does it look. Yeah, selected tab, because we need to alter that property over here. It's using the different one with a selected tab, but it should be selected button. While copy paste, this thing happens actually. So let's double check that one. Selected button, Okay, so over here as well, selected button. Okay, yeah, so we have that. Yeah, it's a button group. Okay, so missed that T, but it looks like the tab because we just copied from there. So we have a working component, the button group, but it looks like the tab. Now we need to change the CSS of this thing in such a way that it looks a button group. So let's change the CSS. So first of all, I should get rid of this bottom border. We don't need that bottom border. So if you look at that one in the CSS, or we have the wrapper as a bottom border, so we don't want that border first of all, and we got rid of that. And then also it should have some borders as well, because what I want is that each button should have a border, um, left, right, and all borders, so that we can see that where one button ends and one other one starts. So we need to have a border. So this is my list item. Instead of border top, left, radius, and all that, what we can do is that we can have a border on all the four corners. So we can say border solid 1px light gray. Okay, and then we don't need this. Okay, so we have a border now. Let us see the hot reload if it works. Okay, I need to restart. Yeah, good. It has that. It shows the border also once we select that, and then it looks nice actually, and then more closer to the final output we need from this component. So one thing is that what I want is that the selected one should have the background of the primary color with the white text on this. So this one is selected. So if you look at that one, selected one, so it should not have border, but it already has a border, so it should be background color, background color, background color should be the primary color, and then its color should be white color. Okay, so let us see that. How does it look now? We will confirm each and everything, then move ahead actually, because we are almost there. Just don't want to see. Looks good. Perfect. Excellent. So it shows the selected one out of four with nice primary back color, and then shows the white on there. So one thing is that once we hover on that one, it fades away. So what we want is that once we hover on the selected one, it should not do anything, but it should show the hover effect on the rest of the buttons. So the selected one is there, so hover. So I can have additional CSS over here, not dot selected. So it means that while hovering, apply the background color with the secondary color, but that item should not be selected. Okay, that should not be selected, and then otherwise you just go on and then set the background color. Okay, yeah, it does. Yeah, perfect. Excellent, because it shows the hover effect on there but not on the others. So this is good one. We can add as many as items we want, but definitely we can change theme as well. We have different themes. As I said in my last video, we need not to play around with too much colors, just minimal colors, one main primary color and one secondary color, definitely the lighter shade of the primary color, and then we can have different themes actually. Like now I have blue theme, green theme, orange, and the purple one which I'm using right now. So if you want orange theme, so just primary and secondary color, and then you can blend them with black, white, and gray shades, and can have some consistent themes. Okay, so now let's see how this is the purple, sorry, this orange one looks. Just we need to change the CSS file, and then we can have that. See, now it's orange. So just change the primary and secondary color. So let's try one more, the green one as well. Okay, and then we can try the green one. How does it look? So they will overwrite the settings actually. So we have a green one also. Okay, looks good actually, wonderful, all good. So we can change. One improvement you can do that one to make it more commercial grade component is that let's have the corners as the rounded one. So the leftmost one should have the left corner rounded, and the last one on the rightmost should have the rounded corner as well. So it's very easy, not so difficult. Let's roll back the theme as well. Okay, so we need to just play around with some CSS. So this one is my list item, that one, and I would say that the first child means the very first option. First child, it should have the top left. I mean this one, top left, the upper left corner should have a radius of maybe 1.5 rem. Okay, and the lower one as well. So bottom left should also have a radius of at least 1.5. You can adjust it. You can adjust it until you get some consistent and nice looking corners. See, we have that. It's perfect. Good. So we need to apply the same thing to the rightmost as well. And then we are done. So I will copy the same thing. But this time it should be the last child, means the last option. Last child, and then top right this time, because left we have already addressed. All right. And then also the bottom right. Okay. Now let us see. Yeah, we have that now. So see, just changing the roundness of the first element and the last element shows it looks now more stunning and then more better. And then, but you can have the flat edges also if you wanted. We just wanted to show a different variation of the same component, but definitely you have the themes also. You can add as many as buttons to it. It responds to the events also. So if we click on that one, so we have a binding property. We have a binding property selected button which we can display over there. So if you want it to be, so that we can see over here, let's have that. Over here we will show selected button. So it will show you the selected button value as we switch the buttons. So first one is home. Okay, we need to remove that additional. Let's start again. Yeah, see, it shows. So it changes that one, and then by catching this value we can do the rest of the coding into our demo page. So if the user clicks on one of the button, then what to do, not to do, and then all that stuff, and then so all that kind of things. So that's all for now. So today I showed you how you can have the button group, and then with icon and text, and with the minimalistic CSS and the C# code, no third parties, no JavaScript at all. And then so this was it, how it is done. So basically we are done. So but there are minor issues which we notice is that one, if we want to address them. So the text of some of the items is less actually, so very less characters, so they have a smaller size. And then the items, those who have the longer text, have the more width actually, but we want them to be a consistent equal width of all the options, and then we can achieve it very easily. Just we need to play around with some CSS. So if we go back to the CSS over here, and then we can say that we can use the flags actually, flags to achieve this. So we can say to my list display flags, so it will have a flags layout now. So each item should be equally distributed, so it should shrink and grow in a same size. So this is what we have now. So let us see that. Made two changes, made the flex box to the list, and each item should have the same size. See, now it has actually, because the width of page is much, so it shows the same size. So but now we want these text and items to be center, horizontally center. Very easy. Over here we can say text align center, so it should be center aligned. Okay, so it should be center aligned, so we can say it should be center. So let's see that, confirm it, then we will move on to have some very minor other settings. So yeah, it looks good. Even if the text is less, they have the same size. One more thing actually, so we see a thick border here, means the one item has a left and right border, but we want a single border over here. So what we can do is that we can say we should always have the right border, not the left one. So over here we have border, so instead of the border overall we can say right. So we need the border on the right side only, but not on the left side. So we will have a single border now. Okay, but we need bottom border also and the top border also. Okay, so what we will do, over here we can have the same thing, border, and then we can say border right, border left none actually, border right we need, border left none. So each item will have the overall border, but then we just remove the leftmost border. Yeah, it should work. Yeah, so it looks better actually, because it's a thin line, otherwise it was. One issue is that the leftmost, the first one should have the left as well. First one should have a left, otherwise it's all good. So we have the first child, so we can say that border left should be 1 pixel. Okay, first child, because we have that. So this should fix the last issue. Yeah, that's it. Wonderful. So we have now equal sized items with single border in between, and then so it looks much better actually. That was also good, but this one is much better because it has a single border, and then doesn't repeat the border, I mean the left and right. So it's good with the minimal border changes. We have now very good looking component. So and then it's more responsive also. Thank you. Thanks for watching.